What you see is not a decoration. It is their cultural, their belief. It's an instruction. It is a story.
How you guys doing? My name is Nicholas Sanchez. I'm the Distance Learning and School Engagement Coordinator, and I'm super excited here to be with Nora at Devils River State Natural Area. Nora, where are we?
We are actually at Sunburst, one of our rock art shelters at Devils River.
We're at a rock art shelter, right? Mm-hmm. So what is the importance and significance of this area?
Of the area, we're talking about the ecosystem and the region. We are actually in three areas. We are in Val Verde County, which is the Tamaulipas shrubland, the Chihuahuan Desert, and the Balcones, which is considered like rolling hills and Edwards Plateau, more or less.
This area in Devils River, super hot,
oh, yeah.
Super dry, right?
Well, if you stand on the sun, but if you're under the rock shelter, it is super cool and the breeze is wonderful.
Bring me back. So when we look at this rock art, we could only imagine and think, what did this mean, right? 10, 15,000 years ago, what did this area of Texas, West Texas, look like?
Well, believe it or not, it was a beautiful savanna. Can you imagine? It just had a lot of luscious trees, beautiful grasslands, a lot of water, a lot of abundance of wildlife. That's what it looked like. Now it does not look like that, even though we are in the Devils River and you are like considered the oasis of the area. It's very, in this area where we're at, the Sunburst, we do have like a lot of trees, and when it rains, you have the water flow, but we are a little bit higher, and you're able, like if we were in that time frame sitting here, we would be able to see water run and just a beautiful landscape of it. We're actually, Val Verde County has multiple rock arts, and some of them are, we have been very fortunate, like for Devils River, we have rock art that is for the general public, Seminole Canyon that has for the general public, but most of it is privately owned land that have a lot of the rock art. So we are have the privilege to protect and teach, have this area open up for education for people to come and see. This is like the history books. This is our first history book.
Tell us a little bit about this beautiful storybook. It's almost like a living history, right?
Yes.
So what are we looking at on this wall right here?
Cultural significance of this area is we really don't know. We only have what is left behind of their cultural beliefs by the studies of Shumla. The significance of this area, we really don't know, but it's an interpretation of what we believe. What you see is not a decoration. It is their cultural, their belief. It's an instruction. It is a story of their history. And also on, for instance, if somebody else would come in at that Paleo-Indian prehistoric time, they would be able to look at it, and it was a story of how-tos, instructions, and it was part of their life survival skills. That is what we interpret. You should care because it's a history book of Paleo Indians. And no, not everybody could draw and do the pictographs. The shaman, which was considered the elder, the person that had knowledge, wisdom, he was the only one that was able to do the drawings of the pictographs. One of the things that he would do, the techniques, he was in trance, and he would go into different spirit worlds, and he would actually come back and do the drawings of what he would see, what he would envision. So this paint, for them to last this long, was something that was passed on through knowledge, through the community, but the shaman would probably be the one that would mix the mixture. So they would use bone marrow, they would use the sapon of the lechuguilla and the minerals, and they would bind it together. Now, the paint itself, how they would apply it would be either with fingers, or they would use the plant-based brushes. They would use rabbit fur, because every stroke is very different. And the shamans were the ones that would do this. And it's stated that when they would come in, they would look at an area and they would do the outline of it. And then they would come in and color it. So say, for instance, if they were going to color everything red, they would do all red, everything in red. Then they would come back with a different color and say they did all yellow, so they would do all the area for yellow. And that's how the process they would do. One of the areas that I'm standing right now is one of the dwellings, and it's a shelter. The location of it is really close to sunburst, and we know that it was their dwelling because you could see the earth ovens, all the little rocks that that is on the ground that is disturbed. They lived here. This is where they resided, and the location they selected it actually would be up to the shaman, the elder, to select this area where they would stay. For me, it's my belief that they selected this area because it's close to water and it's close by for them to do their ceremonies, and the shaman doing its drawing of the pictographs. The Paleo Indians were small hunters and gatherers. Their immediate family. For instance, if it was the father, the mother, their children, their children of their children, their grandchildren, they were a very intimate family. The shaman, the elder, the one that knew and was teaching the next generation of their cultural beliefs and how to live off the land and their knowledge. They were very close-knit, and I believe that is through our Shumla readings and stuff, they state that their bands were maybe, or their clans were not more than 25. My name is Nora Padilla. I'm at Devils River State Natural Area. These are just one of the features that we have at our beautiful state park. You were here. Let me know what you think of our rock art in our comments. Thank you. Come and join us. Bye.